The snow fell thick that December evening in Cedar Ridge, blanketing everything in white silence. 10-year-old Emma Hansen was walking home from her piano lesson when she heard it, a sound that made her heart clench. Soft whimpering coming from behind Old Man Peterson's abandoned barn. Emma's mother had always taught her to notice things others missed, to listen when the world got too loud. So she stopped, her boots crunching in the fresh snow, and followed the sound. There, huddled against the weathered wood, were 2 German Shepherd puppies. They couldn't have been more than 8 weeks old. Their black and tan fur was matted with ice. They pressed against each other, shivering violently, their dark eyes pleading. Emma didn't hesitate. She unzipped her red winter coat and carefully scooped up both puppies, tucking them inside against her sweater. They were so cold their little bodies felt stiff. She could feel their rapid heartbeats against her chest as she hurried the remaining 3 blocks home. Her father, Thomas, was in the garage when she burst through the door. Her mother, Margaret, was setting the table for dinner. "Mom, Dad, please come quick." Margaret rushed into the mudroom, dish towel still in hand. When Emma opened her coat, revealing the trembling puppies, her mother's expression shifted from surprise to deep concern. "Oh, my goodness. Thomas, bring towels and warm water. Emma, bring them to the kitchen near the heater." For the next 2 hours, the Hansen family worked to save those puppies. They dried them gently, fed them warm milk with medicine droppers, and wrapped them in soft blankets. Emma sat on the kitchen floor, cradling them both, whispering promises that everything would be all right. "We should call someone in the morning," Thomas said quietly to Margaret. "Check if anyone's reported them missing." Emma looked up, her eyes fierce with determination. They were abandoned, Dad. Nobody who loved them would leave them in the cold like that. Margaret squeezed her husband's hand. They both saw their daughter's resolve. She had always been tender-hearted, but this was different. This was purpose. That night, Emma refused to leave the puppies. She made a bed on the floor beside their box, her hand resting on their warm bodies. She named them Max and Duke, whispering their names until sleep finally took her. Morning came with an unusual sound. Car doors slamming. Voices. Urgent footsteps. Emma woke to find her father standing at the window, his face pale. "Margaret, there are police cars outside. 3 of them." Emma's heart dropped. Were they coming for the puppies? Would they take Max and Duke away? The doorbell rang. Thomas opened it to find Sheriff Roberts, 2 deputies, and a woman Emma didn't recognize, all standing on their porch with serious expressions. "Mr. Hansen, I'm sorry to disturb you so early. We need to talk about the dogs your daughter brought home last night." Emma felt tears burning her eyes. She pulled the puppies closer, and they licked her face, sensing her distress. Sheriff Roberts knelt down to Emma's level. His weathered face was kind despite the gravity in his voice. "Emma, those aren't just any puppies. They're purebred German Shepherds from a registered breeding program. They were stolen 3 days ago from a facility 2 counties over. The thieves couldn't sell them quickly, so they dumped them. We've been searching everywhere." The woman stepped forward. She had tears in her eyes. "I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell. I run the breeding program. But we don't just breed dogs. We train them for special purposes. Police work, search and rescue, therapy for veterans." Emma's grip loosened slightly. "Are you taking them back?" Dr. Mitchell sat down on the floor beside Emma, not caring about her expensive coat. "What you did last night saved their lives, sweetheart. Another hour in that cold, and we would have lost them. You have a gift. Not everyone stops to listen. Not everyone acts when it matters." Sheriff Roberts added, "The person who stole them has been arrested. He's facing serious charges. But Emma, because of you, we recovered them before any permanent harm was done." Thomas and Margaret stood together, pride swelling in their chests as they watched their daughter. Dr. Mitchell continued, "Emma, I have a proposition. These puppies need someone special. Someone who already proved she'll protect them no matter what. Would you consider being their guardian? I provide everything they need: food, training, veterinary care. But they'd live here with you. And when they're grown, they'll help people. Maybe work with children who need comfort or help find people who are lost." Emma looked at Max and Duke. They looked back at her with those trusting eyes, tails wagging now, warm and safe. "Really? You let me keep them?" "More than that," Dr. Mitchell smiled. "You'd be part of their mission. Every life they touch, every person they help. That starts with what you did last night, with your courage and compassion." Margaret wiped her eyes. Thomas put his arm around her. This was what they'd always hoped for their daughter. Not just to be kind, but to understand that kindness changes the world. Emma hugged both puppies as they wiggled and licked her face. "I promise I'll take care of them. I promise they'll help lots of people." As the police cars pulled away, the Hanson family stood at the window, watching snow begin to fall again. Max and Duke played at Emma's feet, their coats shining, their eyes bright with life. "You did good, sweetheart," Thomas said, ruffling Emma's braided hair. "You did really good." Margaret added softly, "Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is simply pay attention to those who need us. You saw what others missed, Emma. Never lose that." Emma looked down at the puppies. She understood now that the choice she'd made in that moment, to stop, to listen, to care, had started something bigger than herself, a ripple that would spread outward, touching lives she'd never meet. Years later, people would still talk about the little girl in the red coat who saved 2 freezing puppies. But Emma would remember it differently. She'd remember that on a cold December evening, 2 small creatures taught her the most important lesson of all: that love shows up. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't count the cost. It simply acts when the moment calls. Max and Duke would go on to help dozens of people, but they never forgot the girl who heard them when no one else was listening. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a reminder about the power of simple kindness. Subscribe for more stories that warm the soul, and let me know in a comment about a time when you stopped to help someone in need. Your story might inspire someone else to listen when it matters most.